Hey, you want a free PSC bow? I'm gonna make it simple for you. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. If you're subscribed and you're liking and you're commenting on our videos, you're entered in the giveaway. We're gonna give a free PSC bow away again. You heard it here first. A free PSC bow. $5 in 9 days, guys. It's gotta be some sort of record. It was a crazy year for me. Let's go ahead and let's recap what happened. Now, I did not kill $5 in 9 consecutive days, but in the days in which I was hunting, I basically, if we're talking about efficiency across the portion of the season, I basically had only hunted 9 days at that point and killed $5. Okay, so the year started in Kentucky. Okay, and I'm going to try and give you a quick recap of them all, and we have film of some of these, thankfully. Kentucky. We killed a buck on the ground, hunting the wrong wind, banking on thermals in this creek bottom. We killed a velvet buck. It was the wrong deer. We were in there after a 170-inch deer, and if you didn't watch the story, you'll understand it better if you do go back and watch it and why I shot what deer I shot. But boom, we killed that on the second day of our hunt. Okay, let's fast forward into the end of October when I really started getting serious into hunting again, just based off of trail cameras and historical, hey, we know it's the rut's coming type mindset. Got in the woods a little bit more. Scott and I went to Missouri with my buddy Caden, and we ended up killing on the second day there. We went we went out once the night prior, and then actually put eyes on that buck either that night or the next morning, and then ended up killing him the following evening. Super aggressive deer, big old, just gnarly looking buck. One of those deer that honestly, I haven't really talked about this, but that deer on camera, I mean, it was mature clearly, but like when he was walking in, you look at that deer and you're like, he wouldn't score much. And I'm not a guy who scores deer, but look at the video of me walking up and putting my hands on this deer versus the shot being executed. We killed that deer in 2 days. The next day, I believe, I took off and drove over to Illinois. It was either that day or the next day that I actually hunted. So the literally next hunt that I went on, we hunted in Illinois with my good friend Josh. He filmed the entire thing of this beautiful, probably 150s, high 150s buck. You can hear Josh say, hey, he looks like a good 130. And I thought the same thing because based off of trail camera photos, I was like, is it him or is it not him? And he got closer and it obviously was, but we killed that deer. Insane video. If you haven't seen it, go to the YouTube channel. You've never seen. The rack exploded. It blew into pieces. I'm going to ruin the surprise. It blew into pieces. Check that video out. After that, we went to, so that was the first hunt in Illinois. After that, we went to Missouri. Sat all day opening day, didn't see any shooters. And the next day I shot a respectable deer. I wasn't there to shoot anything crazy. I was only there for 3 days. So I shot a good 10-pointer there. And then the second day of Wisconsin gun season, I also killed a buck the second day. So if I'm doing my math correctly, it's about 9 days, give or take. How did I do it? Well, there's a lot of different hunts that go into this, but so there's a lot of different strategy that went into this. But the one thing that I did on almost every single one of these hunts, or at least a handful of them, I'll say, I'm not going to say on every one, is we hunted mobile. Okay, we were always willing to adjust our given scenario. And I don't necessarily mean hanging a mobile stand, but we were willing to go wherever we had to go, even if it wasn't perfect, in order to get these deer killed. So a lot of people would say, my stand's here, but I can get them on camera over there, or I saw them over there. We did whatever we had to do in certain situations. So let's go back to Kentucky. I had a tree stand that was preset that I never sat in, 7 yards away, maybe, from where I killed that buck on the ground. But I knew that if I would get up into that tree stand, that the wind would be wrong, okay? And it was wrong down where I was. So we physically sat in the water knowing that when I would drop milkweed, thermals would pull our wind the actual opposite way. But if I stood up in that bank, my wind would go the way that the deer was going to cross. So me staying low enough, got that deer killed. So we were mobile in that sense. The deer that Scott and I killed in Missouri, that was a first time sit. Once again, you see video of me throwing milkweed up, throwing the stand up, boom, we had that deer killed in a couple hours. We just went where we had to. Sometimes we were able to get up in enclosed blinds. Sometimes I set preset stands based off of topographical features like the Missouri buck. So we just did what we had to do in order to get these deer killed. Another thing that we did that is unpopular, and I would recommend that you start doing it, but you have to assess your situation, is we stopped waiting. Okay. Here's the thing about hunting as a whole, and this is really the topic of the day that I really wanted to go over. We stopped waiting for these deer for the perfect situation. We made the situations happen. Okay. And we can get into it in depth on each certain one, and I will do an individual breakdown of each hunt a little bit more in depth for you guys, so you can see how this went, a little bit more in detail. But we went in when we wanted to go in. Here's the thing about deer, guys. They're always there. They're always in the woods. They don't go away because it's not a cold front. They don't go away because the snow didn't come or whatever the case is. The deer are always there. It's just you have to dictate how close you can get to them based off the conditions you're given. About 70, honestly, after this year, about 80+% of my bucks have been killed on warm fronts. How? Well, one, I stopped trusting apps that don't know anything about my hunting spot that tell me to go to, and basically wait until Friday because it's great conditions. Yeah, it could be, but they don't know what's going on in your given situation. They don't know the trail cameras. They don't know where the steer's been coming out. They don't know how far away the bed is from the food. You have to use your woodsmanship to figure this stuff out. So I use woodsmanship if I just say anything else, and got aggressive to go in after these deer whenever I wanted. Now, there were times in which we were probably within 70 yards of these deer bedded. There were times in which, I'm trying to think, I would say 250 yards tops. We were on the Missouri buck, but it was the late October timeframe where those bucks are moving, and hell, we killed that deer early. We stopped waiting. We went in after him. You don't have to be a mobile hunter. You don't have to be a public land hunter. You don't have to be a private land. You can be anything. Just get aggressive once you figured out where these deer are spending time. And how do you figure out where these deer are spending time? Is you go in and sometimes you have to blow them out. You have to go in there and figure it out, guys. Otherwise, you're guessing on a yearly basis and you say, I think he's coming from here. I think he's coming from there. Sacrifice one day, one hunt to go learn. See where the fresh sign is. Blow him out of his bed. Watch him physically leave and adapt. And if you do that in all of your spots, you can go in whenever you want and get these deer killed, assuming that they do what you think that they're going to do. So it's not so much worrying about if they're there. It's if they're going to do what you think that they're going to do based off the amount of time you've put in, figuring out where their beds are in correlation with where the food sources are, and getting yourself in that transition zone. Maybe you're in the closest 25%, maybe you're in the back 75%. But at the end of the day, stop letting weather dictate all of your hunts. There's time and a place when you probably should if you only have X amount of ground. But how I killed 5 bucks in 9 days, guys, I didn't let the weather dictate me. I didn't let conditions dictate me. I didn't let anything dictate me other than me. We decided we were going to go in, and based off that hunt, we decided how aggressive we had to get. And because we were that aggressive, we got 5 deer killed in 9 days, give or take. So maybe this was a bit more of a rah-rah speech than you guys wanted. Maybe this was a bit strategic, as well. And maybe you can use some of these quick tips. But regardless, if you like these tips, you like these videos, like, comment, subscribe. We're always doing more of them. If you want to win in any of our giveaways, you got to be subscribed. So like, comment, subscribe. See you next time.